everyone, and welcome to Season 4, Episode 31 of Pro Wrestling's Top 50. I'm your host, Travis McNeil, and today we continue our countdown of the top 50 matches in Lucha Underground history with match number 20 on our list, which is the all-night-long match for the Lucha Underground Championship between the champion, Johnny Mundo, and the challenger, the Mack, from the May 31st, 2017 edition of Lucha Underground, titled All Night Long Again. So the All Night Long match was originally done Season 1 with Johnny Mundo challenging Prince Puma for the Lucha Underground Championship. Fantastic match. Basically, the gimmick is that it's an Iron Man match with no real defined time limit on it. It would just be, the match would start at the beginning of the episode, and at the end of the episode, when TV time runs out, whoever has the most falls would be the winner. This match, coming into it, maybe didn't have the greatest build, mostly to do with the delay that it took for this match to take place. So they actually did a really good job at prepping the Mack for this title match. He won the Battle of the Bulls tournament, which was kind of clever. It was basically four-ways where the winners of each four-way would compete in a four-way, with the winner of that becoming the #1 contender for the title. The Mack won that mini tournament, but then they did something that I'm never a fan of. When you have, guys that are going to square off for the title, when you have them wrestle each other, outside of like a tag match or a multi-man or something like that, but when you have them wrestle one-on-one to pick the stipulation for their title match, it's giving away, the match that, you're expecting people to either pay to see if it's pay-per-view or, to tune in for on television. You're giving it away beforehand, and sure, it's going to have a gimmick, but it never really works for me. That's what they did here. Mundo won. Again, it makes sense that the heel would win that match. And got to choose a stipulation in which he chose the all-night-long match. So even though he lost the original one to Prince Puma, the deal here was that, the Mack, being a little bit of a huskier fellow, Johnny Mundo said there's no way he'd be able to keep up with Mundo and go all night long with him. But the main thing that really, kind of stifled this match a little bit is in January of 2017, Lucha Underground went on a mid-season break. And we didn't get this match till nearly 5 months later. So they hyped it, on the final Lucha Underground before, the all night long match. It was, your typical like kind of go home, show to the big match the following week. And then we had to wait 5 months. There's another little thing that ties into the end that we'll get to momentarily. But as it stands, this is a match that I feel really, got better with age. When it initially happened, I was disappointed by it, which again we'll get to, but watching it now, I really just enjoyed it for what it was. It's a really fun ride. It's a really great episode of wrestling television. Again, kind of a weird start where they have Johnny Mundo go up 1-0 really early, relatively clean. He just evades the Mack, trips him up, and hits the end of the world. Again, if you're gonna have your face have to, come back from behind, I would maybe have like a cheap kind of, fall or a couple of falls to get Mundo up. Having him win clean, in the opening moments of the match, really strange choice. But that out of the way, it did help create that story of Mack having to come back and overcome the odds that were against him. Mundo gets a relatively quick second fall. He gets a roll up and he grabs the ropes and he's able to go up 2-0. They really start to ramp up Mack's offense here. He's so good. He hits, a big tope con hilo, which is so impressive for a man his size. He hits a hangman's neck breaker off the ring apron onto the floor, and he ends up getting his first fall. Mundo goes for a crossbody. He rolls through, turns it into a powerbomb. I believe he calls it like the Chocolate Thunder Powerbomb or something like that in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, and it's enough to, shorten the deficit to 2-1. We do, again, some more big moves. Mack hits like a T-bone suplex off the top. But then they go to an injury angle, a fake injury angle, I should say. And that, those are a mixed bag for me in wrestling. Sometimes they're done very good. See Chris Hamrick, 2002, 2003. See Rebecca Knox, Becky Lynch in early Shimmer. Other times they don't work so well. So they do it here. Mundo's the heel, it's you kind of know what's coming, but he, hurts his ankle off a dive. They do a big stretcher job, but he ends up popping up off the stretcher, of course, hitting a low blow, DDTing the Mack on the backboard of the stretcher, and it's enough to go up 3-1. And then, of course, Mundo's so good at being a slimy heel and doing jumping jacks and jumping around on his bad ankle, showing that he wasn't hurt. From there, this just develops into a big brawl. So the All Night Long match, there's no disqualifications, there's no count out. The falls only come via pinfall or submission. So we get, a big brawl through the crowd, and just an awesome spot where Mack slides Mundo down on the stretcher backboard down the stairs, which was really cool. Then he nails the stunner, the Stone Cold Stunner being the Mack's finishing move, to, almost even it out for 3-2. Really cool stuff too, where they start to utilize the Worldwide Underground, and we get a bunch of shenanigans, but it all kind of works in the match. PJ Black comes out, and they kind of do like an under the ring swap with him and Mundo. So the Mack chases him to the back, and then PJ Black and Jack Evans just beat him down with kendo sticks. Son of Havoc, who is, beefing with the Worldwide Underground at that point, makes the big save, with his own canes. And then kind of a fun spot too, Dario Cueto's, watching all of the madness unfolds, and, he's got beer in his office. So Son of Havoc, grabs the beers from Dario's office, gives them to the Mack, and he kind of does this, Stone Cold cosplay sort of gimmick, and, it revives him. And again, just goofy, but it all kind of works in this silly Lucha Underground atmosphere that we have. We get a spot where the Mundo goes up to the bandstand. So Lucha Underground, they always have like a band, like a mariachi band or something like that, playing at the start of the show, and kind of, as they come back from commercial breaks. There was a spot in the original All Night Long match where, Mundo goes up to the band and, ends up getting hit with the guitar, and they do a bump off the bandstand, which is like elevated over a balcony. So they tease doing that again here. Mundo goes up and, he's getting the mariachi band to play like a victory song for him. But all of a sudden, one of the mariachi players dives off the bandstand. Turns out that it's been Sexy Star, who is, in storyline friends with the Mack. Also has beef with Taya and the Worldwide Underground. So she was, posing as a mariachi player. So that was all really cool. Mack hits the Thunderfire pile driver off the ring apron through 2 tables. A crazy spot. And that was enough to tie it up 3-3. Our ending here is again just really good, really wild. We get a ladder involved. Mundo misses Starship Pain onto a ladder. Mack tries to dive off the ladder, but Ricky Mandel, who I've talked about, was an idolizer of Johnny Mundo, changed his name to Ricky Mundo against Johnny Mundo's wishes. Ultimately ended up trying to kill him in, season 4. He comes out and he, grabs Mack's foot as he's trying to do this big dive off the ladder. We end up, he gets taken out. Son of Havoc's back out there. He hits a big dive, and Mack ends up diving off a ladder through the table, but he can't get the cover in time. So we end up with a 3-3 draw. So a big spot at the finish with Mack doing this huge, superfly splash off the ladder through the table. It looked great. We get a disputed finish. The TV time is up. The show's about to end. Dario Cueto announces that we would go to sudden death the following week, so everything would restart, and says, even if it takes all night long again, right? One fall to a finish. At the time, I kind of hated the draw ending, as the hook for the following week. The actual sudden death part isn't really good. It doesn't live up to this match at all. It's kind of overbooked, and Mundo just sort of wins, and the Mack's kind of an afterthought in it. So at the time when this match happened in 2017, overall, I was really disappointed. I waited 5 months for this match. I enjoyed the match, but, the episode ended, with no real resolution. And then the following week, they kind of crapped all over, everything that I just spent an hour, watching the previous week. But watching it in a vacuum in 2021, I'm able just to enjoy this Iron Man for what it is. I don't mind the disputed finish because it ends with, a big spot. And it almost kind of works if they didn't do the sudden death, that, Mundo holds on to the title by the skin of his teeth. But, Mack gets that moral victory, proving that he could, go all night long and survive the match. So this thing is a ton of fun. That's why it comes in at number 20 on the list. Lucha Underground, depending on where you live, you might be able to find it on Tubi, but if not, you can Google search and find these episodes on various streaming websites. You can subscribe to my channel here on YouTube so that you never miss a video. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Wrestling50, and please join me again tomorrow as we continue to count down Pro Wrestling's Top 50. Top 50.